Hello, and welcome to my happy office. Rachel here from Nutrition in Bloom, and today we are going to talk about feeding wins, what they are, and why it's so important to celebrate them. All right, let's get started. If you're new here, hi, I'm Rachel. I am the owner of Nutrition in Bloom, and I am a pediatric dietitian and feeding expert here to make feeding easier, stress free, and fun for you and your family. I help families with a whole wide variety of feeding challenges from picky eating and allergies and anything else to make your life better. And today, I want to talk about something that I think is really important, and it's celebrating wins. I know that feeding can feel really stressful, and there's so many reasons why this occurs, but I find the biggest one is that we just want our kids to eat, right? We just want them to eat because they have to, right? We need to make sure they're meeting their nutrition needs. And ultimately, at the end of the day, they're the ones that decide what foods they put in their bodies, right? We could try doing all these things, but ultimately, it's their choice. So when that doesn't go according to plan, it feels really, really frustrating. And it's not like we can just throw in the towel and say, okay, whatever, just not feeding my child today, right? Because we have to eat. And eating can lead to power struggles and fights and so many different challenges, especially when it comes to eaters that are a little bit more selective. And I work with a lot of those people all over the world. Every week in my Facebook group, I talk about feeding wins. And I create a post and I ask everybody to celebrate their feeding wins and to share with the group one feeding win that happened this week. And part of why I do that is, yeah, so we can all celebrate with you, but it's also so you can start to shift how you are thinking about feeding. Now, when I say feeding win, I don't mean your child trying a new food, although if they did that, that's obviously a feeding win. But what I mean more is anything positive as it relates to feeding. Did your child touch a new food? Did they lick a new food? Did they tolerate a new food on the table without screaming? Did you have 3 minutes of peace at the dinner table with your child? Did you have 3 minutes of peace alone at the dinner table? Did you try a new recipe? Anything, anything positive related to feeding is a feeding win. And I feel that it's so important to start thinking about these things because when we get into that negative mindset about what our child isn't doing or how feeding isn't going, it's hard to get out of it. You've probably heard of, the power of positive thinking, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Positivity leads to more positivity. And a big piece of feeding is actually our mindset. It may not feel like it, but it is, and how we come to the table, right? So, the more we can start to celebrate those feeding wins, the more we can start to think about what is going right, things will continue to go better, and you're bringing that positivity to the table. And you may know, it reminds me of the story of Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, right? One bad thing just leads to another. So we're looking at this in the opposite way. How about one good thing leads to another? So, my takeaway for you is that I want you to think about one positive thing from feeding in this past week that you can share, or if you don't want to share, just think about it. You can either comment wherever you're watching this video, you can respond to my email, or just think about it and keep it within yourself. But I want you to think about how you can just start that tiny, tiny shift of positive thinking. And if you're ready to make feeding much easier and have less stress and more positive thinking, then let's chat. Enrollment is open for my Conquering Mealtimes program, and it's an online program. I'm now offering options with more one-on-one support. You also get one-on-one support in the program, and I would love to chat with you. I will link to the course and how you can schedule a free 15-minute call with me, but let's chat. Feeding does not have to be stressful. It does not have to be hard, and you don't have to go into this alone. I am here to be your guide and to be your resource. Okay. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day and watching this video, and I can't wait to hear what feeding win you come up with. Have a good one.